guys like Brother Lawrence? The practice of the presence of God? Okay? This is what he says. He says, I have quitted all forms of devotion and set to prayers. He gave up his prayers. He stopped praying. John, you must pray 8 hours a day. Let me tell you, anybody who says they do is probably lying to you. I know some of the people who say that don't tell the truth. I quit. But I quit all my set prayers except to those to which my state obliges me. What is he saying? Now I just do whatever I feel like in the glory. Wherever the shing-ding leads me. So you're at McDonald's ordering a Big Mac. If you're jacked up, you're in prayer. You see what I'm saying? You are in that place of his presence. I'm making my business only to persevere in his holy presence, where I keep myself by a simple attention and a general fond regard to God, which often causes me joys and raptures, inwardly and sometimes also outwardly. So great that I'm forced to use means to moderate them, to prevent their appearance to others. God doesn't want your hour in the morning. He wants all your time. He wants you in a constant awareness of his presence. He wants you continually in that place. Am I saying that we should never pray verbally? You can pray verbally, of course. Paul says, give the prayers a petition, right? Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. What I'm saying, though, is that there's a higher place, okay? Prayers, when you're asking God for stuff, that's like a hope prayer. Okay, you understand? I'm dealing with disciplines right now, right? Like giving, prayer, fasting. We'll get into that in a minute. Prayer, if you're asking God for stuff, that's great, but that's like a hope prayer. God, please do this, please do that. There's a place higher than that, is faith prayer. When you have faith prayer, you understand your authority. You understand your dominion. You just speak to situations.
Yeah.
You just declare it. I just release this. I speak that into existence, and things start to happen. That is a faith prayer. Okay? Understand that? Shika baka bonky. And then there's a higher place than that, and that is called love prayer. All right? And that is ecstasy. That is worship. In that place of intimacy with him, you really just don't give a rip about the prayer list anymore, because you know it's all under your morning meetings. Did you know that every single one of those fasts is 1 billion times better than a food fast?
Yes, it is.
Amen.
Let me say that again. 1 billion. Billion times better than a food fast. Billion times billions. He doesn't care about your Big Mac, he cares about your heart, okay? It is all about these issues, okay? Fast negative thoughts, fast criticism of yourself, fast insecurity, fast all of this garbage, fast poverty. I fast poverty all the time, and I practice what I preach. I'm fasting it, guys. I'm fasting sickness and disease. This is reality. They came up to Jesus and they said, Jesus, why don't your disciples fast? Like John's disciples fast. Why don't they fast? He said, how can they fast when the bridegroom is with them?
Yes.
He said, if you guys are going to fast, please cheer up. Remember that? He says, at least put a smile on your face and be happy for crying out loud if you're going to fast. He said, how can they fast when the bridegroom is with them? He says, now one day they will fast when I'm taken away from them. Yeah? How long did that last?
Not very long.
3 days.
Yeah.
He's closer to you than he was to his disciples.
But Jesus was away from them. But now he's inside of us.
Come on!
You see why I don't get invited everywhere to speak? I know that fasting is the pop trend charismatic culture for today, but you look at the trouble you're going to see a decade from now off the back of some of this hyper-asceticism stuff. I mean, religion. You want to fast? Let me tell you. No, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. Okay, I promise you. I'm not. If you want to fast, you can fast, it's totally fine. I'm not kidding. I mean, if you benefit from that, like if you enjoy it, that's great. The key is not forcing yourself, okay? Like if I fast food, it's just because I forget to eat. Sometimes I'll just forget to eat, I'll be whacked and whatever. It's fine, right? If you're gonna fast, why not have a supernatural fast, right? How many of you guys have heard of a lady named Therese Newman? Therese Newman, she just died in the 60s, right? She didn't eat any food for 40 years.
Right.
She drank no water for 35 years. No food, no water. She had one little piece of communion once a day. Unless she was in ecstasy, she could eat the whole thing. Supernatural is called a miracle of India, where you can't fast. Catherine of Siena fasted 8 years. Brother Young, the Chinese persecuted guy, you read that? Remember, he fasted no water for 75 days, no food, when he was in the Chinese prison? Remember that? That's a supernatural fast. Here's the key, right? When Therese Newman was fasting, she didn't want to eat. If she smelled food come by her door, she would try to eat. She didn't want it, okay? She wasn't like she was forcing herself into something. It was just like she was better off without it. She didn't want it. You see, that's the difference. If you want to fast, that's great. But if you think that you're somehow obtaining something from God, or earning something from God, or wrestling for something from God, let me tell you guys, you have been bamboozled, okay? So I'm just setting you free right now. It's going to be okay. Go to Burger King after this meeting and chill out, all right? And just enjoy Jesus. I get depressed if I start fasting. I'm telling you, because I'm trying to get something that I already have.
That's
all right?
so right
What he's
on,
wanting you to
man.
do is to believe what you already have. I'm telling you, you're never going to get around it. Faith is you're connected to the glory realm. Faith, and you can't earn it. Faith is a gift, okay? So I just thank you, Lord, right now. That supernatural shing ding ding. And another, let me tell you just one other, I'm sure I'll get a lot of questions off of that. One other discipline is communion.
Come on.
What about communion? When we look at communion, when we're not looking at it through the eyes of the finished works of the gospel, when we don't realize that I have been crucified, that I don't have an old me anymore, I don't have an old nature anymore, when we look at communion, what do? Oh, brother, you've got to clean yourself up before you go to that table. Oh, I thought that the table cleaned me up.
Yes.
If you're going to check your heart before you go to that table, you might want to kick all the depression out of there. All the fear and anxiety, there you go. Communion should be the drunkest, happiest time. They used to call it the love feast. Tomorrow night we're going to have a love feast. How many love slaves do we have in here? Oh my goodness. Some people get weirded out when I give communion because I do a hammered drunk. Oh, you can't do it that way. So much fun, guys. Communion is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a party. It's supposed to be a love feast. I mean, they used to not use a thimble full of unfermented grape juice, you know. I mean, it was a party. I'm talking, woo! Love feast.
That's right.
Okay, one other discipline, and then we'll do questions, I promise. What about worship and praise, right?